Hello everyone, thank you for watching this video. Now in this part of the video here we'll be looking at 4A1 revision chapter 3 quadratic equations. Let's begin. Chapter 3 quadratic equations. Now first to remember, our quadratic equation can be solved by using the following formula: ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So first things first, equation for quadratic equation, we have x squared, x and then a number. So rearrange it into our x squared, x and number term. And it must always be equals to 0. Okay, and this formula over here, x equals to negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over to a, this can be found in your formula sheet during exam. But however, during the test, maybe your teacher may not give to you. So you must spend some effort to remember it a little bit. Okay, let's begin how we can apply this formula to solve some of the equations. Right, so number one, A, solve the following quadratic equation. So before we begin with our formula or whichever, we need to know how many units of x squared. There's actually 1 unit of x squared, negative 2 units of x, and negative 7 of a constant term, a number without the x. So this tells me that the value a equals to 1 and b equals to the number negative 2, c equals to the number negative 7. Now, after I identified this, I'm going to plug this into my equation. So now the equation, right, actually has a plus or minus inside it. So this means, right, there is actually two possible solutions, right? So let me write down the answer first. The first one will be, since the equation here is all in x, right? So x equals to negative b. I will strongly recommend writing down in brackets, right? The first answer would be a positive answer plus b squared minus 4a and c over 2 times a. Of course, you can have a second answer. Second answer is we found by taking this one instead of a plus. This one will become a minus, right? So when you key into your calculator, there should be 2 of the answers. So to save time and save the effort that we're going to do, we're going to write this as plus or minus together. But remember, your calculator don't have this plus or minus sign. How to get the solution? First one, put your calculator as a plus. After you get the answer, go back to the plus sign, change it to the minus sign over here so that you can get the second different answer. Okay, so now let us plug in our values. B is the number negative 2. Notice negative 2, so must remember put the bracket. And this one over here is negative 2 whole thing square for a negative 7. Now it's also important to put this bracket whole thing square. Why is that so? Because in your calculator, right, when you put negative 2 square, the calculator will give you a number negative 4. But actually, negative 2 whole thing square, negative times negative gives you positive. The correct answer is supposed to be 4, not negative 4. So if you key this without putting in brackets into your calculator, the calculator may not give you the correct answer, or sometimes they'll give you math error, right? So please take note of the following. Divide by 2a. Now we can press the first answer. How do we get the first answer? I'll key in this version, right? Everything here without the minus sign. So let me key this as a fraction, negative 2. First one is a plus. So this one is a plus. First answer is a plus. Square root, remember to put the negative, the brackets for negative 2 whole thing square minus 4 times 1 times the whole of negative 7 over 2a. Okay, so after you key everything of this, too bad I can't show you my calculator screen. Okay, then you'll be able to get your answer 3.8284. Right, usually for me, I'll copy at least a few, minimally 5 significant figures, right, before I round it off. So the question did not mention what is the accuracy, then I can round it off to 3 significant figures. Sometimes the question will say they want 2 decimal places, so you just need to pay attention to it, okay? So this one, 3 sig fig, 1, 2, 3, round up. So 3.83, first answer. Or, now how am I going to get my second answer? I'm going to move my back button to go back and change this sign over here from plus. Now I change this to minus. Okay, I'm going to change this to minus inside my calculator. Key the whole thing again. Minus are not negative. Minus sign, okay, not negative. So in this case, I got my answer, negative 1.8284. Right? Then I round it off to 3, so you can figure 1.8123, 1.83. 3 significant figures. So now I get my two answers. So I should write this back in my working, plus or minus. Okay, the next portion I will not be explaining this part. I'll be just doing out the answer so you can move a little bit faster. Alright, question B. So how are we going to solve a question that looks like that? First one, let us identify what are the number of units for x squared, x and number. So x squared term, this is the number, negative 2. X is negative 5 units and a constant term, 6. So this tells me A equals to the number negative 2, B equals to the number negative 5, C equals to number 6. So now my equation here is x equals to something, right? So x equals to negative B, remember put brackets. There are two solutions. First one is plus, second one is minus. B square, remember put brackets, minus 4A and C over 2A. Then now I'm going to plug in my values, negative B minus 5. Negative 5, remember to put your brackets over here, this bracket and this bracket over here. Over 2AC over 2A. Alright, so then you can get your two answers. First one is a plus, second one is a minus. Now, some of you in class, I've taught you how to use the calculator, right? You can use your calculator for Casio, different mode, 522 or mode 33. Okay, got different people with different answers. So A is the number negative 2. B is the number negative 5. Remember, put negative, then press equal. C is the number 6. So with my first answer, I managed to get 0.886. 0, all the way. Since this is already 3 sig fig, I'll keep this as the answer. Or press equal again, my second answer, negative 3.386. All the way. Okay, but since I need to round it off to 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, this one I round up, negative 3.39. Alright, so in that case, I've gotten both my answers. Have you gotten your answer? Okay, without further ado, let's begin to look at the next type of question. Okay, over here below. So I have done the basics, but what happens if the question looks like that? Oh, something quite horrible or disgusting, right? Okay, so when it's very difficult and you notice that there are brackets, what you need to do, let's sort them out first, step by step. Okay, first one, there's a pair of brackets over here. So I'm going to multiply in x times 2x gives me 2x squared. Then I'm going to multiply in again to the back side, the one at the back. X times 7, that will give me 7x. Equals to a number negative 4. Then what do we do next? Remember and recall all the quadratic equation we want must be equals to 0. So we are going to shift this so that it becomes equals to 0. So how am I going to shift negative 4 over to the side? If that is negative 4 and it comes over, we undo the subtraction, it will become plus 4. But rearranging it in x squared, x, and then number. So now this is a plus 4 equals to 0. So now I got my number 0. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so finally then I can solve my quadratic equation using my formula. So let's take a look. What is my number of units for x squared? 2. Number of units for x, this is positive 7. Number of units for the number, constant term, this is 4. So using our equation, x equals to, forgot to write a, b, and c. A equals to 2, b equals to 7, c equals to the number 4. Then we plug it into our equation. X equals to negative b plus minus, two answers are square root b square minus 4ac out of 2a. Then plug in your values. Alright, and then calculate the two answers. Okay, first answer, x equals to negative 0.719222. So I'm going to round it off, negative 0.719. Okay, or second answer, negative 2.78077. Okay, oh, the number doesn't look the same one. Okay, never mind. Alright, then now we're specific negative 2.78 answer. Have you gotten the answer? Now let's try one more type where we need to do expansion as well. Okay, second type over here. Now this looks like a little bit daunting, but slowly there are a few things that we need to do. Number one, there are brackets over here. Right, so what do we need to do for the brackets? We need to expand out the following one by one. 4 times x first gives me 4x. 4 times 2, multiply to everything. 4 times 2 gives me positive 8. Negative x times x. X times x squared, negative, so negative x squared. Then negative x times 2. Negative x times 2. Negative 2x equals to 5. Okay, let us rearrange our equation. I want x squared, x, and then number. So how many x squared? Negative x squared, followed by our x term. 8, I have 4x minus 2x. That gives me a total of positive 2x. Followed by the only number over here, this is 8, equals to the number 5. But like what we have mentioned earlier, when we want to solve a quadratic equation, this number over here, this number over here is supposed to become 0. So I need to shift this over, right? So then now I will get rearranging. I get negative x squared plus 2x plus 8 minus 5. This one is plus 5. So equals to now 0. So we have our 0. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so now we can try to solve our equation already. Okay, so let's rearrange first. Negative x squared, 2x, 8 minus 5. This one will give you the number 3. Positive 3 equals to 0. Okay, next step, let's try to identify how many units of x squared are there. This is negative, just a negative sign. How many units are there? Negative 1 units of x squared, a positive 2, and a positive number 3. So A equals to the number negative 1, B equals to the number 2, C equals to the number 3. Okay, then using quadratic solution, equation, x equals to negative b plus minus square root. I think you already know how to do this part already, right? Okay, so I'll plug in the numbers. B is 2, A negative 1, C is 3. Okay, remember to take note of the sign. So let us plug this into our calculator. Remember there are two solutions over here. The first one is a plus, the second one is a minus. So A is -1, B is the number 2, C is the number 3. So I got the answer E, this answer over here, x equals to 3, or second answer, x equals to -1. Okay, have you gotten your answer? Okay, for the last part of today's video, we're going to do a quadratic word problem. That means I need to observe what's happening inside the question itself and then form an equation using the information given to us, and then after that solve the equation. So if let's say if worst come to worst, you really don't know how to do 3a, you can still solve the equation at the bottom over here, correct? Okay, so now let's try. Let's take a look at our question. Gladys' age is 3x plus 2, minus 2. So this is for Gladys. Okay, 3x minus 2. Then Helen's age. Helen age is 5x minus 3. This is what they tell me, right? Then now the keyword over here, the product. Product, what does the word product means? Product means to multiply. Of their age is 170. Oops. Is 170. So this means I'm going to take Gladys' age, which is 3x minus 2, multiply to Helen's age, right? Helen's age, 5x minus 3 is 170, so it's equals to 170. Right? Then now you find this a little bit similar to what we have earlier on. So there are two brackets. Let's work this out slowly, one by one. 3x times 5x. 3 times 5, 15. X times x, x squared. Next one, 3x times -3. 3 times -3, -9x. Then -2 times 5. -2 times 5 is -10x. -2 times 5x lah, huh? Then -2 times -3, negative times negative gives you positive. 2 times 3, 6. Equals to the number 170. Now I'm going to speed up a little bit, save some working over here. We know that this one we need to change this into 0, right? So I'm going to shift this over here. This is a positive addition of 170. So I'm going to do a subtraction of 170 equals to our magic number 0. Ding ding. Okay, so with that, then we can try to solve our equation. So let's simplify. I get 15x squared. What are the x terms? The x terms, minus 9 minus 10. Please use the calculator. Minus 9 minus 10. Minus 9 minus 10 is actually negative 19x. So you can use your calculator to do your calculation. Okay, minus this one over here. How do I know it's minus or plus, right? Look carefully. Press, if not you key your calculator, okay? So it's plus 6 minus 170. That gives you a -164. You can use your calculator. So this one over here is shown. Right? After we know this, okay, even if let's say I don't know how to do 3a, I can still do 3b. Right, solving the equation over here, very obvious. A is the number of units for x squared. A is 15. What about B? B is -19, -19. Then C is -164. So I'm going to write this down. A is 15. B is -19. C is -164. So I'll solve for x, plugging it into my equation. X equals to -b. There are two answers, 1 plus 1 minus. B squared minus 4ac over 2a. Remember, b has -19, so must remember to put bracket. Right, -19, remember to put bracket. right? Brackets. Then over to 4AC164 over to A. Then we can use our calculator to calculate our answers. A is 15, B is negative 19, C is negative 164. My two answers from my calculator, x is equals to 4 or x is equals to negative 41 over 15. Okay, I have solved both my equation. But now I'm going to move on to part C. Find the sum of their ages. Ages is years old, right? One x is the other one is 4, the other one is a negative age. Do you think I can have x to be a negative value? Not very likely, right, for the number of ages. So in this case, I'm going to use x equals to the number 4. Right, and I want to find the sum of their ages. First one, Gladys is 3x minus 2. Helen is 5x minus 3. So Gladys is 3x minus 2. Is it correct? 3x minus 2. And 5x minus 3. Then Helen is 5x minus 3. Is that correct? Yes, 5x minus 3. So now I'm going to plug the number. X now changes to the number 4. So 3 times 4 minus 2. Answer will give me 10. 3 times 4, 12. 12 minus 2, 10. 5x. X is the number 4 over here. Minus 3. 5 times 4, 20. 20 minus 3, 17. They want to find the sum of their ages. The sum will be 10 plus 17. And the answer will be 27 years old. Alright, have you gotten your answer? With that, we come to the end of this part of our video. I'll see you for the next lesson. Goodbye.